Meldric Taylor. Taylor, the WBA welterweight champion of the world, and he's taking on Ernie Chavez tonight. The name Chavez certainly brings about memories of the controversial loss that he suffered to Julio Cesar Chavez last year. Taylor says that while he would very much like to take on Julio Cesar Chavez again, Ernie will do just fine, thank you very much, in his quest to be recognized not only as the champion of the world, but as the very best in the world. Meldric Taylor has been in organized boxing since he was 8 years old. As an amateur, he won various national titles and compiled a record of 99-4 on his way to winning the most coveted title in amateur sports, the Olympic gold medal. Like all the great Philadelphia champions before him, he's never learned to take a backward step. Combining blazing hand speed with thunderous body shots, he's managed to rise to national prominence. In his corner are trainer George Benton and co-manager Lou Duva. Benton, also a veteran of Philadelphia, handles the boxing duties, and he's taught Meldric what it takes to be a champion.
George is a veteran trainer, so George brings a lot of wisdom to my potentials, my skills. He knows a lot, and I listen to him because he's just a good teacher.
For Duva, shaping Taylor out of the ring is just as important as in the ring. He looks to Duva for the guidance he'll need to lead a productive life after his fighting days are over.
Duva is like a grandfather figure to me. He always talked to me, give me a lot of advice about business, about life in general. And it helps me. It helps me as a fighter, as a person, to know that I always could rely on somebody like that's been out there, that's older, that that's been through the trials and tribulations of life. So anytime I have a problem, anytime I need to ask him a favor of him, he's always there to lend a helping hand.
In only his 21st professional fight, they figured it was time to go to the top in search of the IBF Junior Welterweight title held by Buddy McGirt. After 12 grueling rounds, McGirt's corner finally called it quits, and Taylor held his first professional belt.
That felt great. It was very gratifying for me to win my first championship, and this to prove a lot of people wrong. Me being an Olympic gold medalist, to come out and having a big reputation, I needed to win my first title in good fashion, and to do it against a good fighter like Buddy McGirt was a great achievement for me.
After 4 successful title defenses, 3 by knockout, he entered the toughest fight of his career against Julio Cesar Chavez. Well ahead on 2 of 3 scorecards, the fight seemed to be his. Then came one of the most controversial calls in the history of boxing. With 2 seconds to go, Richard Steele stopped the fight. While this loss to Chavez would have spelled the end for many boxers, Meldric has managed to shake it off and is determined to meet Chavez on his own terms.
I think he's going to be the star of the 90s. I can't wait for the day that we can get Cesar Chavez in the ring, because he's going to chase Cesar Chavez out of the ring. And I would hope to do it for TVKO as quick as we can do it. And I think after that fight there, people will know who Meldric Taylor is. The funny thing is, even though in his losing effort against Chavez, he came out more of a star than he had been previously.
Since his loss to Chavez, he realized it was time to move up to 147 pounds. In only his second fight in the welterweight division, he went after WBA champion Aaron Davis. Once again, he proved everyone wrong and pounded his way to a 12-round unanimous decision.
Winning against Aaron Davis at welterweight was a tremendous win for me, tremendous experience to move up from 140 from a defeat of that magnitude with Julio Chavez, and to recapture being a world champion at a welterweight division. This renewed my whole faith and confidence that I am a great fighter.
Tonight, he meets Ernie Chavez, a tough southpaw from Southern California who's celebrating his 30th birthday. And Chavez, who's 15-1 in his professional career, Taylor knows he's facing a fighter who's got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Well, you just go in there as confident as you can, like each and every fight. You take this fight like you take every other fight. You train hard, and then you get motivated, and you go in there and do what you've been taught to do. And this guy is no big name, but I feel motivated because I know this is a challenge that I had to beat this guy just to go on to the next phase of my career.
If he gets past Ernie Chavez tonight, we can look for Taylor to ultimately try to unify the welterweight division. But first and foremost in his mind is a chance to avenge his only loss against Julio Cesar
My
Chavez.
plan is to beat Ernie Chavez and go after a big fight with either Julio Cesar Chavez or Hector Camacho sometime in December, January. That's my next goal, is to recapture the glory I had with the Chavez fight and next time come out with a victory.
One upset is in the books. Will another one follow on this triple header night? Right now, it's WBA champ Meldric Taylor against Ernie Chavez in a 10-round welterweight fight. For the action at ringside, let's go to Lynn Berman. Lynn?
Okay, thank you very much, Cambrell Marshall. As everyone else, when they said we would be doing Taylor Chavez, I said, oh, that would be great. Well, maybe as Lou Duvas said, somewhere down the road it will be Julio Cesar Chavez. And I know, in speaking with Taylor this morning, the last 18 months, that his mind has been dominated by what happened with Julio Cesar Chavez.
Did you see the spark in his eye when we started talking about Julio Cesar Chavez and whether or not he wanted to fight him again? And then asked the question whether he thought Julio Cesar wanted to fight him.
Right.
He didn't think Julio Cesar was as anxious as he is to get back.
So how does Meldric Taylor avoid looking way past tonight's fight?
Well, I think he does that by doing what he did, and that's working hard in the gym, and Lou Duva confirmed that. Lou said he didn't train as hard as he should have for the last fight, but this fight he was real happy with the way he trained, and I think that should be the key factor.
All right, realistically and frankly, how much of a chance does Ernie Chavez have tonight?
Well, you know, it's a young man with, and not a young man, he's 30 years old, just 3 years into his career, only has 15 fights. He's in there with somebody who was a world amateur champion at 17 years old. So, you know, on the books, this is a real long shot for Ernie Chavez, but he is a southpaw.
Right.
Taylor hasn't fought many of them. He is a hard hitter. He's a true welterweight. So he's got a shot if he lands a good solid punch early and maybe follows it up. But I think over the long haul, it's got to be Taylor.
Okay, let's start with our Goosen's Corner feature and begin with Ernie Chavez.
Right. Ernie Chavez, like I said, what he's got to do really is maybe start fast and catch Meldric Taylor off guard somehow. That southpaw stance is confusing, and it just might work for him. Catch him early, get inside, maul Taylor. Don't let Taylor dance around him, box him, or use that speed. Nullify that speed by getting in close and try to land his punches.
And Ernie Chavez, 30 years old today in the ring, and he's quite an accomplished musician. In the ring, he's 14-1 with 8 knockouts. Outside the ring, when we saw him this morning, he was standing on the balcony of a motel playing his guitar with a harmonica braced as well and singing.
Well, he was good.
Quite good, yeah.
No, he was excellent, as a matter of fact. I started singing along with him. I said, can we have a hootenanny? And
well, let's see if his boxing can measure up to his musical talent. All right, Goosen's Corner for the WBA welterweight champ, although this is a non-title fight, Meldric Taylor.
Meldric Taylor, what a great fighter he is, and what an unfortunate experience he had to go through with Julio Cesar Chavez, but what he's got to do is use that experience that he's gained in all these fights. Here's the two things that I think are a necessity for him. Use his speed, use his combinations, and his experience in this fight should be his.
And a happy birthday to Ernie Chavez. That's his home county, Orange County here in California. Taylor, like Breland, said, I'll knock him out. I'll win early. Well, it didn't happen for Mark Breland, and we'll see what transpires here as we await the ring entrance of Meldric Taylor. We're at the Arco Arena in Sacramento. Big crowd on hand. And now Taylor starts to wend his way toward the ring. Won the WBA welterweight title from Aaron Davis in a 12-round decision after losing that controversial match in a junior welterweight bout. You know, you think Meldric's been around for a long time. He's only 24 years old, 6 years younger than Chavez. He was an Olympic gold medalist in Los Angeles at the age of 17. And here comes Meldric Taylor from Philadelphia. And his record, that one loss to Julio Cesar Chavez, also a draw on his record, and 14 knockouts. He, along with Mark Breland and Pernell Whitaker and Tyrell Biggs, the class of '84, the gold medalists, Holyfield was a bronze medalist that year in Los Angeles. And our tail of the tape for tonight's second feature. Taylor 6 years younger, a couple of inches smaller, same weight, and a reach disadvantage. But if you didn't know anything about Meldric Taylor, you'd say, oh, you know, Ernie Chavez, he's got the stats and the numbers, but we know a lot about Meldric Taylor and his hand speed. And our rules for this 10-round fight: California state rules, it's the 10-point must system. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rules, saved by the bell only in the 10th and final round. The doctor or referee can stop the fight. And now let's go up to the ring for our announcer, Michael Buffer.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is a presentation of Don Shargan Productions and Main Events in association with Cedric Kushner Productions. The 3 judges assigned at ringside by the California State Athletic Commission are Hank Ellis Pudu, Jack Campbell, and Prospero Montano, and the man in charge of all the action after the bell rings is the referee, Terry Smith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it's in the welterweight division. Introducing first, in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with black trim and weighing an even 149 pounds. An excellent professional record, 14 victories with 8 KOs, only 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Orange County, California, Ernie Chavez. And across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with gold trim, also weighing in at an even 149 pounds. This 1984 Olympic gold medal champion has a professional record of 27 victories with 14 KOs, 1 defeat, 1 draw. He's the WBA 147-pound champion, title not on the line tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the 2-time world champion, Meldric TNT Taylor.
Okay, gentlemen, you already had your instructions in the dressing room. It's your obligation to know the California rules and abide by them. Touch the gloves now. Come out fighting. Good luck to both of you.
Chavez told us he was just happy to be here. He was like a kid in a candy store. He says, I know I won't get a decision if it comes to that. So that's what he's up against.
The thing that he was most disappointed about, though, was that it wasn't for a world title.
Right, this is a non-title fight.
Right.
If you're wondering about that draw on Taylor's record, Howard Davis 5 years ago in Atlantic City. All right, round 1 scheduled for 10. Southpaw Ernie Chavez catches a right hand from Taylor. See the hand speed of Meldric Taylor. And a low punch there. Perhaps another one from Taylor. Warned to keep it up from referee Terry Smith. Is there a boxer with faster hands than Meldric Taylor, Joe?
Probably not faster hands, but maybe quicker hands, and that's Sweet Pea Whitaker. What's going on here? A point already for a low blow? What? Tell him to go to a neutral corner.
Taylor landed a couple of low blows early. Oh, left hand from Meldric Taylor. Taylor with another left. Ooh, catches another left hand and a left hook to the body and a left to the chin. Ernie Chavez gamely trying to fight back. Crowd appreciates it. Halfway through the first round.
Meldric Taylor already bleeding from the mouth, whether that was a result of a headbutt or a straight left hand, I don't know, but he's bleeding already.
Good right hand from Taylor.
If you remember in that Chavez fight, he swallowed all sorts of blood. right now, before Taylor figures out this southpaw stance of Ernie Chavez, is when Chavez should really try to land some big shots while he really hasn't been figured out yet by Taylor. Because it is confusing to fight a southpaw, especially when you haven't fought him in years, and he hasn't.
Taylor doing some connecting.
Oh, nice little headbutt from Meldric Taylor. Taylor told us earlier in the room today when we spoke to him that he saw no film on Ernie Chavez. It's really it's the first time he's looked at him.
Not a lot of tape exists of Chavez. All of his fights have been here in California.
He certainly has. But Chavez not being intimidated, to say the least. He's standing his ground with Meldric Taylor.
Spots are designated for you. Right? So you're throwing punches too fast. All right, forget about it. Give me. I got it.
Imagine that being told by your corner man, Georgie Benton, you're throwing punches too fast.
How you doing?
I wish I could say that to my fighters.
Yeah, you got his mouth cut, see, so keep using that left-hand lead.
The corner knows that Taylor's lower lip has been cut. Chavez has lasted around with the world champion.
Taylor's had that problem his last few fights. That he's probably built up some scar tissue on that lower lip on the inside of the mouth. Develop a little knot on the inside of that lip, and one little punch and opens it right up.
Both of them tumble to the canvas.
Right.
Chavez was a high school wrestler.
He's reverting back to that old style here. But, you know, that could serve him well on the inside. Uses strength, uses leverage.
Couple of good left hands from Meldric Taylor. And now, perhaps another low blow, yes. And Chavez down on one knee.
Lou Duba screaming that that was not a low blow, but it was indeed a great right uppercut to the belly. Looked like it was right on the belt line, but Lou is adamant about it.
The second time that Taylor's been ordered to the neutral corner. No points have been deducted. Look at that hand speed of Meldric Taylor.
Well, he's going to get chewed out by Georgie Benton for being too fast.
Too fast, right? And Chavez staying right in there. Another strong right hand and another one from Taylor. But does he lack the knockout punch? I mean, he's got the speed and he's landing.
No, he buzzed Ernie Chavez with that right hand. You know, listen, this is he's never knocked anybody out at 147 pounds, but he's still making the weight adjustment. It may take him a little bit more time to really get used to this 147-pound limit.
Chavez goes to one knee.
Well, Taylor
not counting.
No, and he's not taking a point away. So if it was a body shot,
he just dropped to a knee.
If it was a body shot, he should count him out. If it was a low blow, he should have taken a point like he said he was. Well, if Taylor was smart, he'd go right back to that belly, just like he did there. And again,
furious action in the middle of the ring with less than a minute to go in the second round. That was a low blow from Taylor. That was strange, just a timeout in the middle of the round with nothing in either direction. Not a low blow called or not a knockdown.
Well, he had to have really considered that giving Taylor a warning, because if he stopped time and gave him time to rest, that's got to be considered a warning.
But he sent them twice to the neutral corner, weren't they warnings?
Well, if you send him to the neutral corner, that means that you're stopping time and giving him time to recuperate from the low blow. But he didn't take a point.
Final seconds of round two. Chavez's game going in after Taylor.
He did. He landed a good straight left hand and a right hook. First two punches this round.
Well, Chavez has lasted 2 rounds with the champion.
Let's see if this was a low blow or a good body shot. I was right on the belt line. That was a low blow. Okay,
yes.
right. That one did stray low. Now, I don't think that was the one in question, but there was another one. That was a low blow again.
Yep.
I don't think that was the same shot. That was the second shot, and Meldric Taylor is saying that was a body shot. But indeed, both of those were low blows, right on the cup.
Yep.
Get off first. Put punches and
You know, you're allowed to hit the black belt line there. It's below the belt you aren't allowed to hit. You can hit someone on the belt line.
Well, there he is. The IBF Junior Lightweight Champion, Tony Lopez, trying to avenge a draw to Brian Mitchell. That's our main event. Hometown hero, Tony Lopez from here in Sacramento. Had lots of trouble making weight, which we'll talk about a little bit later on tonight. Round 3.
Well, Chavez and Taylor both abandoning really any sort of artful type of boxing because they're all throwing power shots. Only out of 251 punches, only 35 of them have been jabs.
Yeah. Well, there's one jab from Taylor.
36. Here we go again.
Right hand is a good one from Taylor. Taylor again, left hook. Goes to the body with the right and the left. Taylor delivering. Chavez trying to fight back. Chavez switching to right-handed for a moment. Now back to southpaw. Gutty kid, this Ernie shot. Oh, not a kid. 30 years old. He's 6 years older than Meldric Taylor. You keep forgetting that.
Well, what seems to be happening here, though, is that the body shots or the low blows are really starting to slow Chavez's punches down. And he's really going in more of a defensive mode here.
Now, to show you how tough Chavez is, when he was an amateur jogging in Texas, the national tournament, he was run over by a truck. And Taylor,
he just got hit by another one
there too. And now Taylor going after him. Tough shots from Meldric Taylor here in the 3rd round.
Well, if he catches Chavez with any more of those type of punches, this could be his first knockout at 147 pounds.
By the way, that truck accident, he broke a leg, lacerated a kidney as well. Coming down to a minute to go in the 3rd.
Isn't that supposed to be good luck when someone tells you to go out and break a leg? Not in this instance.
Oh, Taylor again connects with the left
He's just
hook.
countering
And
so
Chavez
quick.
comes back with a left of his own.
Taylor's just teeing off.
Taylor low and then high, and Chavez still standing. Those body shots from Meldric Taylor. A couple of uppercuts. Two more tough shots from Taylor. Chavez takes it. Another right hand from Meldric Taylor.
Well, Chavez is really to stay in this fight. He's going to have to do something drastic because right now he won't last another 2 rounds at this pace. Not getting hit with those type of bombs.
Big round from Meldric Taylor. Crowd's appreciative.
Listen, beautiful. That's perfect. Now listen. Take your time. Don't rush it.
And John Saraceno, our guest judge tonight. How do you score it, John?
Len, we've got Meldric Taylor jumping out to a fast lead against Chavez, doing all the effective punching. He's the aggressor in the fight, much sharper, and Chavez apparently is going to need a knockout.
Now do it professional, real professional.
As early as the fight is.
A lot of crazy punches away. You don't have to.
Yeah,
you did it right there.
See, you popped and weaved
Right.
Here we go. Here's Taylor. He's just waiting inside. He's so smart. He's so quick. He just waits for the opportunity, lets his hands go, lands 4 great shots, and then wobbles Ernie Chavez. But really should have been able to finish him here by landing some more accurate shots. Because he did have him stunned, and his hands dropped, and his chin was up. Taylor landing 75% of his power shots in this fight. It's really target practice.
It's scheduled for 10. Will it last that long? All Taylor through the first 3.
Another low blow is right.
That was at a half dozen low blows at Chavez. And some strong high blows as well. Oh, body shots. Chavez still stands there. Taylor tees off on him. And another one. Meldric Taylor trying to finish off Ernie Chavez. Chavez absorbing a pounding. He just won't go down.
Well, one of the things Chavez said was one of his best attributes was his conditioning, and he's got to be in tremendous shape really to absorb these type of punches. These are good, solid shots that Meldric Taylor's just getting so much leverage on. And he can do that because of the lack of experience from Ernie Chavez.
Chavez sneaks in a left hand, and Taylor staggered backwards for a moment. Chavez with the right hand. The crowd comes to life. This would be remarkable.
Did Chavez get hurt by that, or did he just fall off balance? It looked like he intimated he just fell off balance there.
Chavez landed a couple of blows. It continued. Oh, and Taylor smacks him with the left hand to the body again. Oh, lands a bomb.
Oh, another great right
It's like
hand.
watching a fireworks show. One bomb goes off after another. Taylor now after Chavez. Chavez continues to fight back in the middle of the ring. The crowd loves it.
Oh, did land a good right hook. Ernie Chavez.
Score 3 for Chavez. Tries with another right.
I think Taylor's a little weary from throwing those 20, 25 some odd punches.
And Chavez with the left hand. Talk about a Rocky story.
Right. Wait a minute.
Another right from Taylor. Taylor catches him again. Chavez keeps coming back.
Well, you start asking yourself, is Chavez got that great of a chin, or does Taylor just not hit that hard at 147 pounds?
The crowd, many of them come to their feet.
Hey, this guy's ready to go. Plant those feet, rip those feet, goddammit, start punching with this guy. Don't be laying back waiting for him. Keep that chin down and start firing on him. Don't be just half-half working timid. Get mean in there.
Well, this is Jackie McCoy talking to the corner, who trained, of course, the great Danny Little Red Lopez, the great Carlos Palomino. Told him this guy's ready to go. Here we go. Here's Taylor again, just loading up on shots. Uppercut, right hand. He's starting to measure them. Boom! Right off the forehead there.
See that ponytail fly as his head is jerked back.
Chavez did step back and caught Taylor with a little right hook. But basically, this is Taylor all the way. It looks like another angle of the same sequence of punches.
But Chavez got in some good blows there in the fourth round.
Jackie McCoy telling Ernie Chavez, get in there, get mean, grit your teeth, and start slugging with the guy, because he feels that's his only shot, is to get in there and do that.
Chavez did it again.
Would this be something if he turned the tide here?
Taylor must be saying to himself, I'm getting tired of guys named Chavez.
But the thing was, Julio Cesar didn't do this well in the fifth round.
Chavez landed another one.
And got countered, though, with a great right uppercut by Taylor. Taylor expended a lot of energy in those first few rounds, throwing all those bombs. He's probably taking a little bit of a breather here before he comes back strong. But this is a good opportunity for Chavez to let it hang out and see if he can do some damage here. A little low blow from him. Taylor had to point it out to
so the score is now
Smith.
8 or 9 to 1.
Right.
But certainly that hand speed we saw from Meldric Taylor has faded a bit here as we've reached the 5th round. Trying to pick it up here, Taylor is. Taylor hits Chavez, and Chavez comes right back. Taylor comes back with a right and tries to work the body. Another body shot. A right and a left from Taylor.
Well, what's happening is Chavez is jumping in with those right hooks, and Taylor's timing it with that right hand and catching him with it.
Think we may get a point deduction here, no?
1 point. Low blows from Meldric Taylor. He can well afford it right now. He's got to be comfortably ahead on the judges' scorecard, but it's amazing how Chavez has really hung in so tough right now.
Final 30 seconds of round number 5. Well, Chavez won't lose this round thanks to that point deduction. Still hanging in there. Taylor scoring, and again with the combination. Taylor again with the left.
Oh, one rough character, this Ernie Chavez.
Once again, a very appreciative Arco Arena crowd in Sacramento.
And that could well be a 2-point round for Chavez. If he scored the 10 points for that round, and with the point deduction, that could be a 10-8 round. Here's where the point was deducted.
That was it.
It's the same punch he's hit him with 3-4 times in a row or more. That right uppercut. Slips inside the right hook, dips, and throws that right uppercut. It just comes too low.
I'm not sure Chavez had enough to win that round outright.
No, but I'm saying it was he performed quite well in the first 30 seconds of that round, where he landed some good punches, and he could have swayed some judges there.
Well, we've had some terrific fights. This is our second trip to Sacramento. This is Ryan Mitchell. He will be the challenger. Last time he fought the champion, Tony Lopez, it was a draw in March. He's trying to walk into his hometown, walk away with a title, much the way Edwin Rosario did to Loreto Garza the last time we were here. Remember that Tracy Spann, Jorge Paez fight we had here in Sacramento. There's been a terrific town for fine fights in 2 trips we've made.
And great fight crowd. One of the most enthusiastic fight crowds you'll find in the country.
And the second half of this 10-round fight begins.
Okay, break.
Chavez dipping low with his punch. He scored once to the body and a low blow. Now Taylor.
Taylor really content to stand right in front of Ernie Chavez, whose only chance is to have him stand right in front of him and catch him with the big shot.
Caught him with a glancing right and followed it up with a left.
I'm really surprised that Taylor isn't giving him a little bit more movement, trying to confuse him a little more. He's got tremendous foot speed as well as hand speed.
Is it the southpaw style?
No, I think to tell you the truth, he said he was calling for a knockout today. I think he wants a knockout. I think he wants to go right there. And Chavez even said, I think Taylor's going to be right in front of me tonight to fight me.
2 good rights from Taylor. Taylor trying to throw bombs. I'm not sure what Chavez has left. He's trying up against the ropes. His power is lacking punch.
Taylor playing a little possum here, just blocking some punches. Hoping Chavez will wear himself out a little bit, and he's going to come back with a good flurry like he did last round. Right there. Bang, there he goes.
Taylor's after him now. Here he goes, up against the ropes. Meldric Taylor goes to work, and Ernie Chavez. looks like the last fight.
Better fight
Chavez is trying to fight back.
That's right, and he's
Unlike
got
Breland.
to, or they'll stop
Taylor's
it.
all over him. Still fighting.
Don't stop. Oh, he does stop.
And now it stops. Meldric Taylor's won it. And he jumps up on the ropes.
Well, you can smell that coming.
A carbon copy. 2 fights in a row. 6th round. A relentless attack on the ropes. First, Jorge Vaca, and now Meldric Taylor.
But what a dynamite performance by Meldric Taylor. Did he look phenomenal and proved the point at 147 pounds that he can punch. And this is what he needed, was a good knockout like this, Len.
A couple of fans are booing in the crowd. At least Chavez tried to fight back a little bit, unlike Breland.
There was Taylor biding his time on the ropes. He came out with his tremendous flurry, and it must have been a 40 punch combination because he just threw leather from all angles. And Chavez just couldn't escape it. The punches were coming too fast, too hard. He had to go into a defensive shell. Tried to come out of it with a punch here, a punch there, so the fight wouldn't be stopped, but he was just overwhelmed.
Referee Terry Smith keeping an eye on it.
He's definitely hurt there, and I think he would have gotten more of the same. And I think he really spared Ernie Chavez from any more of this type of punishment in the next round or two. That I think it would have been more of the same here.
Yeah, I thought it was a good call. Here's another look at the action from Meldric Taylor. And we saw from a couple of angles, none of those punches were low. They were all above the waist. Taylor continued to assault. The punch count was 42-7 in that 6th round in favor of Meldric Taylor. And the crowd cheering right now for Ernie Chavez, as well they should. And now for the official decision, let's go to Michael Buffer in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Terry Smith steps in to stop this bout at 1 minute 51 seconds of the 6th round. The winner by TKO, his record now 28-1-1 with 15 KOs. The 2-time world champion Meldric TNT Taylor.
And Meldric shows his admiration for the performance of Ernie Chavez.
Top game fighter from Orange County, California, Ernie Chavez.
And Meldric Taylor joins in the applause for Ernie Chavez. What were your thoughts, John Saraceno, as you watched that unfold?
Meldric Taylor remains one of the most explosive, fastest punchers in boxing. But you got to wonder, Len, why wasn't he really able to knock Chavez out? Chavez obviously has a terrific chin, but Meldric Taylor's power is not the best, particularly at 147, but still a sensational performance.
I kept wondering about that early because from the bombs he was landing, particularly there were some in the 2nd round, I'm saying, gee, why is Chavez not going down? And he never did go down, even at the end.
Meldric is always going to be an exciting fighter, mainly because he comes to fight, he's almost all offense. As Joe pointed out, he practically has no defense. He stands right in front of a fighter, which is known as a face fighter, of course, and he puts on a whale of a show.
Do you think that fight with Julio Cesar Chavez will ever come off? There have been so many twists and turns, false announcements.
I think we'll see that fight next year after all the dust settles, and I like Meldric Taylor to win that fight. I really do.
Well, he certainly would want it more based on what happened. All right, let's go up to Joe Goosen in the ring, who's with the winner.
All right, here we go. Are you sure that wasn't a distant relative of Julio Cesar Chavez, the way you went after him?
Well, if it was, I know he got a reason to come after me now, like I had a reason to come after him.
That's right. No, you looked wonderful tonight, Meldric. Tell me, why did you decide to stay in front of Ernie Chavez when he had the potential of landing a good bomb here? There, he was a good, strong kid. Instead of moving on him, why did you decide to stand in front of him and take it to him tonight?
Because I was working in training camp to stay there and plant down and move my upper body, slip and counter, and try to get some of my strong body shots in combinations. And I felt my timing was on today, so I wanted to try to give it a test. I was going in with this kid and try to give him some of my power shots, and fortunately I came in the right time and got him out of there.
Are you trying to make a statement in this welterweight division that you are not just a fast-handed mover and a boxer, that you can knock out 147-pounders?
Well, I still definitely got to prove that I'm a natural welterweight, and they keep hitting the best welterweights in the world against me, and I keep knocking them down.
So 140 pounds is out of the question anymore? You're never going to make that weight anymore?
No, never.
Never, ever make 140, never.
No, you said 140, maybe 154 at a later date.
If you fight Julio Cesar Chavez again, and I'm sure that fight's got to be in the making, what weight are you going to fight him at?
147. 147.
147.
Is that agreed upon by both
Julio!
guys, or right now? Or
He's champion. If Julio Cesar Chavez thinks he can beat him again, let him come up. But he's coming up to 147.
Come on, Julio, come
I don't
on,
care
waiting
what
on
he
you.
weighs, but it's going to be for the 147-pound title.
when do you think
The only
that
man
fight
I
may
want-
take place, and when would you like to see it take place,
I'd
Lou?
like to see it take place tomorrow if I could. You know,
on, Chavez.
we're ready to
Come on,
sign.
Chavez.
We're ready to sign.
Don King, bring Chavez out of hiding and let him come fight me.
Are you saying that Don King is protecting Julio Cesar Chavez from you?
Absolutely. What we want to do is fight him right on here on TVKO. Let's make the
Julio!
match. Let's make the match.
Julio!
If he's out there, let's make the match.
If Julio Cesar Chavez isn't in the immediate future, if Don King is protecting him, hiding him from Meldric here, who do you foresee yourself fighting next?
We don't know at this point here. There's Simon Brown. There's, I don't know who the heck is out there right now.
Camacho.
Yeah, Hector Camacho. Who else is out there?
If you cannot get the fight you want at 147 pounds, will you move up and challenge maybe somebody like a Terry Norris?
Sure, there's a possibility. But right now, he's a 47-pound champ, and we're going to stay at 47 pounds.
Let me ask you something. Let me go to the back to the fight real quick. There was one point where you got hit with a left hand right over on the other side here on the ropes there. Were you off balance, or did that stun you a little bit, Meldric?
It didn't sting me at all. I was going back, looking down at the canvas. He caught with a good shot, but it didn't sting me. It just kind of like woke me up and caught me off guard, and I was a little bit off balance. But it wasn't hurt. I collected myself and, came right back, and he didn't hurt me that one time.
Can you get yourself into better shape for Julio Cesar Chavez, more so than an Ernie Chavez?
It'll be a different style, Joe. But let me tell you something. Say something good about Ernie Chavez. He fought a hell of a fight tonight. A good, tough kid. He's to be reckoned with in the future.
Listen, Len and I had nothing but praise for the kid because he stood up there and he tried hard and he gave it his best. No doubt about it.
That's right.
Listen, congratulations to both of you, and well wishes to you in the future, and hopefully you get that dream match that you want, a rematch with Julio Cesar.
Let's get on.
All right, Lou, congratulations. Len, back to your ringside.
Well, the furtive cry of Meldric Taylor. He wants Julio to come out and fight him. Would it be here on TBKO, or would Don King want control? That's something that would be decided down the road. But let's say he doesn't fight Julio Cesar Chavez next. He mentioned Hector Macho Camacho. Wouldn't that be a fun fight to watch, Meldric Taylor and Camacho? So we've had two nearly carbon copy endings. Both happened in the 6th round. In the first fight, Mark Breland losing to Jorge Vaca at 147 of the 6th. And here in this fight, Meldric Taylor defeating Ernie Chavez 4 seconds later, 151 of the 6th round. So that's the story through 2 fights. Let's go to Campbell Marshall with our